And now back to more Planet Green Trees.
The bill would eliminate a prohibition on a patient transferring marijuana or marijuana-infused product to any individual. Is that something that's specifically allowed right now?
Well, did they allow patient-to-patient transfer
No.
under the MMMA?
No. McQueen. I mean, I do think there's section 4O or N that describes this, but I think it's the caregiver who actually is the language that it protects or empowers. Well, I want to say the parent of a patient who is a minor could serve as a minor's patient caregiver or licensed specialty medical grower, or could approve a caregiver or licensed specialty medical caregiver. Gee, I wonder why they're doing that.
Is there an age on there?
No.
So
it can be any parent then that can provide for the child?
It's another carrot.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it's the language of the amendments says that it basically it's very specific, and it says for the before 100 days after the effective date of the mandatory or a mandatory act. So after they pass this, whenever it becomes effective, the clock starts ticking.
What is it? How many days?
180 days.
6 months to clear it up.
So
okay.
Before that time, everything stays the same. After that time, it's after 180 days, the caregiver can possess a combined total of 2.5 ounces of marijuana in usable marijuana equivalents and 12 marijuana plants. So it's
What's that again?
It's still 24 if they're a patient. So that doesn't give them any additional plant count as a result of.
It's not 36.
patients.
It's 24
No, it's 24
total. No one will ever.
and that's only if the caregiver's a patient. If the caregiver's just a caregiver, they're allowed 12.
But the supplement is not.
I'm
24?
looking at the amendment.
All right.
It's on our,
It's just so you can keep the 5 patients instead of have to choose one. But
Yep.
the plant count doesn't increase.
right.
I mean, the 36 is still stupid, but at least it was 12 more, you know.
There's a lot of problems in the world. They're worried about this plant. I mean,
They don't have anything better to do.
you know, we don't know what to do about all these other problems going on.
Here you go. I like this one. Here's a fun.
So we'll just default to the plants.
Here's a fun sentence to read. A licensed specialty medical grower's license, which is to sell, come on, caregivers, come do this, come get one of these. Those that obtain this could have your license suspended without notice or a hearing.
Isn't that nice?
In other words, sign up, get no due process if the safety and health of the patients or members of the public were jeopardized by the license continued operation.
Without notice. Why would we want to give up our right to notice?
How about this one? Ready for this one? This is why this is some crazy shit. The MRA could disclose to the Department of State Police or local law enforcement agencies the address of the location where a caregiver or licensed specialty medical grower cultivates or manufactures marijuana. In other words, this information is no longer privileged, that it will be given upon request as a matter of course, that may include law enforcement agencies or people pretending to be, or even the dissemination of that information for whatever reasons, right? And this is dangerous. It's dangerous to have a person's location known. And I'm not saying dangerous
It's none of their damn business.
concerning a raid, but the information makes it a public safety, potentially, like, it's important that people not know that you're growing, because I think it creates issues for potential, and if there has been any of those, it's too many, where people are raiding, robbing and things like that. But the only thing that may have controlled that could control it, is the fact that the information's privileged, right? And if you have multiple, locations that are now disclosed to the police, first of all, not just that for ripping, but also it now allows the cities to identify who's growing in what neighborhoods and start, creating all kinds of.
Nothing good will come of it.
Nothing good will come of it. And I mean, I'm not saying that they would be able to. I'm not saying they'd be allowed to. I'm not saying that any of this would be valid, but I do think one of the major
they'll be raiding.
rebuttals of the idea that any of the cities or villages can amend can create some kind of restrictions on caregiving is partially because they don't know what's going on in the house. Right, and they don't know that place is designated for a certain number of plants.
Well, and it opens up. I mean, you've got folks that aren't living in houses that aren't hurting anything, and frankly, in a lot of neighborhoods, are buying up vacant houses and improving on them, and there isn't a problem, and they're going to make it a problem, and that's
what government does best. They make problems for the people. Government does more harm than good.
We had a caregiver in yesterday that had his caregiver address on the back of his driver's license. So they've already begun to do this.
Say that again?
They put his caregiver address on the back of his driver's license.
Who did? Where did that come from?
State.
How did they get it on the back of his driver's license?
That's just what they did.
He got.
Isn't that a violation of Section 6? Like the privacy
There's
issues that are.
There's not been an amendment yet that does that with an ID. Did they put a sticker on it?
Yes.
A sticker. It wasn't printed, sent in some method. Okay, that's different. Who would have done that?
The police officer could still see that.
Well, he can take the sticker off, right?
Well,
who put the sticker on?
State.
When he got his license?
Yeah.
No.
So the front of the license is a different address. The back of the license is what he uses for his caregiver address. There are different addresses.
Yes.
And that's not a requirement. And
I know.
And any sticker that someone puts on your.
Well, they'll do that.
When I was reading the amendments to this 5300 and 5301,
It hasn't passed yet. It's just out of committee.
Well, I'm just saying that when I read it, it sounded to me, the entire thing, like it's business against the medical marijuana community. And that's what I was so insistent about, because we represent a lot of patients that don't have the money, that are sick, that are old, have cancer and other types of debilitating illnesses that prohibit them from even earning money. And this is the law that they're trying to take away from these type of people.
Yeah.
It's a shame.